Hey Swayers, it's your buddy, it's your pal. I'm Karnak, and this is Serenity Wargaming and Explanations. Before I get into the video today, quick shout out to the sponsors of the channel. Firstly, to Otherworld Events, regardless if you're needing assistance for event managing, planning, organizing, how to even start, or just need specific ideas for what it is you're doing that you already have a plan for, Otherworld Events can help you out. Second, to Admiral Tater Ship Shop. Admiral Tater Ship Shop, while specializing in Star Wars Armada miniature items, also has X-Wing and Legion items. If you're looking to really get some great looking acrylics on the table, whether it be holders for your upgrade cards or tokens or acrylic tokens, and most importantly, you just want a perfect range ruler with no flaws or errors in it that's going to give you exact measurements every time, highly recommend Admiral Tater. It's the range rulers I use at tournaments. I know they're cut perfectly, they're going to range perfectly, and I'm going to get that best measurement every single time. Also, just look at everything they have available. So thank you to our sponsors and enjoy the video. Hey Swayers, it's your buddy, it's your pal. I'm Karnak, and this is Serenity Wargaming and Explanations. I'm going to do something a little different today. We're going to dive into this new approaching trend of these board games or computer games. And if you've been looking at some of the most recent success, like for example, Gloomhaven or Root, those are, or Wingspan even, are a great example of, these are games that started off as traditional board games and have made the leap to online. And they've all made that leap either successfully or that maybe they've had some struggles on the way, but ultimately it creates these great experiences from tabletop to online. MoonBreaker is breaking that mold a little bit differently in that it's not starting as a tabletop game, but it's presenting itself as a tabletop game in a sense. One aspect of that is the figurines and models, which I'll do some as I'm talking here. You'll probably see up here I'm messing around with some figures and things like that. It also has a painting component, and you get all these different kinds of colors to paint and brush on. It has different brushing methods. It also has the ability to mix paints together. So it's just this really unique combination that I personally feel like this is where board games, especially in a post-pandemic world, where we're going to start seeing a lot more competition in this space, this competitive way of trying to entice normal tabletop gamers to come online and play. Now, for MoonBreaker, is it doing that successfully? Well, this is only a preview weekend. It's just giving you some of the basic overview and looking at things. But to give more information, what is MoonBreaker? Who developed it? Who started it? Well, MoonBreaker is developed by Unknown Worlds. You may know them from Subnautica, some other games here and there. And MoonBreaker, they wanted to do a turn-based strategy tabletop tactics game. And they are wanting to design a true digital miniatures experience set in this new sci-fi universe that they've created. And they want it to be competitive. The best way I can explain the gameplay mechanics of what MoonBreaker is, think of something like a traditional card game. I'm going to use Hearthstone as an example. Instead of putting cards down on a table and you've got your main character, what they've done is they've transitioned your character into being a captain, a physical piece that is on the board, that moves around. It's directly involved in the fight. And then the cards that you're playing are your troops that are in what's called your bridge, and you reinforce or you deploy them on the battlefield using their, instead of mana, it's called cinder. It's just a resource mechanic. So MoonBreaker is meant to be fast paced. I mean, I don't think in my test games I've had anything go over half an hour. So when I say fast, I mean, don't expect like 5-minute games, but you're usually not taking a very long time to play unless it is two super competitive players and they both are very conservative in their play. So Moonbreaker is trying to fill that role of just these quick to pick up, hard to put down. They're going to keep releasing new miniatures that are going to shake up mechanics or do something different. So it's going to be a lot like these other card games where you have to keep up with a new thing of the week to make sure you're still understanding all the mechanics of the game. So as with a lot of these games, similar to like League of Legends or Dota, where there's only a few selections to start with, which makes it easy to jump in and memorize or learn what everything does. But then as the game gets bigger and bigger, it's going to have the same issue, I feel like, where it's harder and harder for new people to get into the game because there's just too much to try to learn and understand and figure out values and mechanics for. But we'll see what their release pace is. I feel like that if they're not going for the money grabbing route, it seems like there's just an upfront price. It doesn't seem like there's any crazy DLC or loot boxes or anything like that. So we'll see what their pace ultimately turns out to be, or what their strategy is for essentially making money off this game. But the game is going to launch with captains, and your troops are called crew. They're wanting to launch with more than 50 units, captain, crew, and assists. And each season, however long a season lasts, we don't know. But each season, you're going to be able to earn collectibles and rewards to unlock. And there's going to be new releases with that. I think the most interesting aspect of this is really the painting and really trying to draw players in to paint their models, share models with other people. That's just so fascinating because I'm not a big painter in real life because my hands are shaky. I don't know how to do the brushings or the strokes or the techniques or anything like that, and I don't want to try to paint a model or practice because I feel like that's just a waste of time, or paint for techniques that, I'll be honest, I don't want to sit down and take a long time to learn, even if really learning all that is not as hard as you may think. But on Moonbreaker, you can mess around and do all sorts of things, and you don't have to be an expert because it's gonna it's gonna help you. It's gonna fill in these things for you and take care of it, so that way you can paint these gorgeous models. And the models are really well done. So I'm excited for like this aspect of not just for Moonbreaker, but how will this impact games moving into the future? Look at D&D 1. It's wanting to accomplish the same kind of a mechanic of, you really want to get tied into these models that are online only, but you want to paint them up, make them look good. So it's just interesting to see the route that we're going to eventually be taking into the future with all of this. But that's enough about painting and everything else. Let's talk about, is the gameplay any good? Is the gameplay any fun? So I'm going to quit doing my voiceover or my talking here, and we're going to do some games. So to get into a game of Moonbreaker, simply click on the play icon. Currently there's only 3 modes available: versus other players, versus AI, and cargo run. In order to level up your season track to get those unlocks, you need to play either cargo run, which is like set instances against certain kinds of bosses. You can play up for that. You have to complete a run before you can unlock and do another run. You can also earn those season track points by playing against other players. Playing against the AI is just practice. You don't gain really any rewards for playing against the AI, but it is a great way to just kind of dip your toes in and start trying to understand the game mechanics. So while I'm explaining some things, I don't want to be pressured too much for my play. So we're going to play a game against an AI. Now, Moonbreaker on release, I think, only has like 3, 4, 5 captains, something like that. The only captains are available are what's called Asta, Extor, and oh gosh, if we go into the roster, yeah, this still needs some optimization. It's not very easy to kind of get around sometimes. But we've got Asta. Let's see if we can sort by captains. No, the UI really needs some help. It's not very optimized to find things very quickly. But we've got Astra here, and we've got Exetor. Extillator. As we know, names for me is hard. And we've got Jackar. Zach Jackar are the three captains currently. And they each kind of have their own specialties and things that they do. But we're going to play a list with Astra just because that list seems most interesting to me. So when you pull up your roster, you'll be able to see like how much these units cost to play with your Cinder. I kind of have a mix of low to semi-high cost units. My goal with this list is to just try to get a bunch of units down the board and overwhelm my opponent. The icon here on the left signifies what damage this unit can do, the one being 1 damage. If it's kind of like this crosshair looking thing, it means it's a range unit. If you come down here, if there's nothing in the box, it means this unit cannot attack. And the yellow icon with this kind of like exploding spiky bit on it is its melee damage. It's a melee unit. That's how much damage it can do melee. All the icons on the right signify how much health that unit has. And if it's got this like little bracket around it, signifies a unit has armor, which reduces oncoming damage by 1. So armored units can be very beneficial in trying to tank, especially if you've got like healing units nearby to keep them buffed up and doing good. But we're going to go ahead and play against, oh, I didn't mean to play against a player. Glad we backed out of that fast enough. We're going to do an on game against an AI here, just so I could talk for as long as I want and show mechanics. So there are lots of voiceover lines and music and everything else. I'm just going to go ahead and keep it on mute just because I don't want that to distract me as I'm talking. So as you start the game, you'll get options, essentially like your hero ability. So these are called assists in the game. They're coming from like your spaceship that's flying around overhead. Some of these are way stronger than others. It's randomized every time that you get to choose one. Like for example, and these are free. Like you don't have to pay anything typically to stock up or do anything. Some of these are way stronger abilities than others. Like this one right here, this is insane. So Cinder, or your mana pool, essentially, like the Cinder infusion that every 3 turns you get to gain 3 Cinder and also heal your captain. Like this is broken. This is so broken. It is broken. There's another one called Orbital Bombardment, which is every 3 turns it can deal 3 damage to everything in an area, which you can use against your opponent. It's just like some of these just need way more optimization. Hopefully, as the game progresses towards release, they will balance some of these abilities. But for example, like this Plink, every turn you can deal a damage or heal one of your guys 1 point. And again, that's so strong. It's just so strong. But I'm going to choose Cinder Infusion Ion Storm because making their units lose accuracy for melee or range attack, that's super strong. Again, same thing with the Cinder Infusion. Just anything that just automatically gives you free mana so you can spend it on troops is going to be very strong. So it's my turn first. We've got them running around up here. So on the map itself, there's going to be various terrain features. It's semi-random sometimes, but for the most part, everything is consistent on a map. You have what's called hard cover, which blocks movement and line of sight, so you can't see through it. You've got soft cover, which still blocks movement, but you can still shoot over it, or if you're an airborne unit, you can fly over it. So utilizing cover mechanics to your benefit is very important in this game, just like with any tactics game. So I'm not going to go over and explain like what each captain does, like their specialties. It pretty much will list these on the left. Or essentially Astor is mainly meant to be a support unit, but you really want them finishing units off because you get bonuses for doing that. Now on my bridge I have quite a few units here. 2 of them were 4 cost units. So I didn't get a very good draw. And one thing I wish they have is a mulligan, at least a one-time mulligan. But what I can do, very powerful ability, is boost morale. I can spend 1 Cinder to reduce the cost of somebody on my bridge by 2, that's why I have all these 4 and 2 cost units in my list, is that really helps out. Or if I wanted, I could just save my Cinder and bank it for the next turn. But I think it's important to boost and get that reduced cost on my units, which it did it for this one. So this one is going to be essentially free to play. Or not free, it's going to reduce it from 4 to 2. And you can do your abilities in any order. Like you can, like for example, do the boost morale and then move, or move and then do that. When you have multiple units running around, what's great is you can start really getting to the tactical element of moving your units and trying to line up specific abilities and things of that nature. Who's going to try to shoot me? Wow, that hit from so far away. That's crazy. Okay, so now we've got 2 Cinder I can play. So again, I can either play a unit, or I can keep doing boost morale and just keep lowering my unit costs, and I can bank 1. So that's what I'm going to do. Because there's just no point to attack, to throw units down right now. So I missed there. We're going to keep moving into some hard cover there, get a little bit closer. So like, yeah, like this guy I could play for free right now. When it attacks, it damages all units in a line behind there. All right, so this is my super tanky beefy boy. It's a very good early unit. We'll go ahead and play it right now because he doesn't have any units down the board that can come cause problems for me, I feel like. So we're going to go ahead and throw them. Yeah, we'll throw them right there in my turn. Oh, how nice of them to place down their range unit next to my melee unit. So even though he can deal 2 damage when they attack, again, he's got armor. Just makes it really hard for them to do anything against my unit there. So now I've got my Cinder Infusion, so I can get a bonus 3 Cinder right now and restore health to my captain. So that's just, again, super strong. Look at that. Going to get all this mana. No big deal. Oh, it puts it in my bank. It doesn't give it out in my normal. So I lost 1 Cinder. Essentially, I should have played something else before that. But that's okay. Live and learn. We're going to go ahead and reduce the accuracy of those units for the following turn. What else can I play now? Yeah, boost morale. So essentially, you're spending 1 to reduce by 2. That's always just going to be so good. So again, yeah, now this unit is free. And this unit here is great because it essentially just can create more and more and more of itself. Oh no, this is a healing bloom. Okay, this is not the other unit I was thinking of. How you get more units into your deck is you have to spend 3 Cinder to do what's called reinforce. Or for this captain, you can reinforce if you destroy an enemy. So you kind of want to set up things so that they kill them, and then you can just get cards into your hand for free. So they're bringing some stuff down. He's trying to kill that. Didn't work. So if I get my tanky unit back in range of this healer, he can keep tanking and heal and heal and heal. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move this over here, and we're hopefully are going to be able to finish this guy off. We are. So that's going to give me my special bonus. Automatically get essentially a new card in my hand. I'm going to go ahead and boost morale. What is the range on this bloom? I need to move, somehow need to move. Oh, I kind of put that in my way. Whoops, that's fine. Maybe we'll still get it. See, I can remove the stun from when my units first came down too. It's just so amazingly strong. Oof, and that's their special ability, the orbital bombardment. But again, I've got this healing plant here that they're now trying to take out, but that's going to keep healing me. So yeah, that's Moonbreakers. Overall, the game definitely has some struggles right now. It's just in a beta. My expectations, though, moving forward is that a lot of my concerns now will be taken care of. Maybe not in the initial launch, but definitely I feel like within a few months after the developers just put some more spit and shine and polish on it. It's kind of clear that they're just trying to build up hype of the game. to get information out there so they can start building up their player base, even if the initial experience is not quite where they may want it. Like I said, the UI and how unit information is displayed in the roster or otherwise, it's pretty bare bones. So hopefully they will get a better system in place for displaying the information, better comparison. I think the painting is going to be a huge draw. I mean, the miniature models themselves look great. I love the way they move around the field. It feels like you're actually there, like picking up those miniatures and putting them down and having those interactions. And yes, some of the units or the commander assists or the abilities, I say commander, I mean captain, are not balanced right now. But again, that's just trial and error. These things take time. I feel like the company is going to take an approach to constantly balance the game as the game moves forward. I know I'm going to buy in. I'm interested. The price is going to be $30, but that's still cheaper than getting into most miniatures where you have to spend hundreds to get this as many models here. I really like the pricing structure they have here. Of course, we don't know what their pricing will be for the seasons or getting new units, or if they're going to have pay to win or anything like that. We'll have to see. But I'm excited for it. I'm going to keep playing it. The positives of this game, I think, moving forward is just kind of the way that tabletop gaming as a way to blend physical space and online space. I think this is a good approach, and I feel like some other companies are going to stand up and take notice of this and incorporate that into games moving forward. I know for myself, I would love to see you buy a physical component and you get that component unlocked online, or if you could spend money online to only unlock it online because you have no plans to play it as a physical product in person on a table. I just think that there's some unique blends that can happen there that will satisfy both worlds. But give MoonBreaker a shot. It's going to be in beta for a bit until it releases, I believe, at the end of the month. So see if it's something you enjoy. Otherwise, hey, I'll catch you later.